Hi everyone, how's it going? As every software or tech engineer in Africa or any other third world countries, desire to work on software projects abroad, I also had the same, that passion or desire for working abroad. But to achieve the goal, I was trying here and there without any proper guidance or process. I even approached consultancies and wasted quite a bit of money and time without positive results. But after mastering certain tips or processes, I managed to secure multiple jobs, not just one, across Europe. From Africa. So in this video, I will share with you those tips and processes that helped me to secure multiple jobs across Europe. Welcome back to the Taxi Mastery. So regarding my plan of moving abroad, though that thought has been there for several years, I didn't pay so much attention to it, because I was earning quite a good salary in Africa. Then I thought, why optionally take that pain of leaving the continent of Africa and going very far from home country, but a few reasons, added a little more fuel to it. Of course, money is one of them, and working on a product-based companies, etc. So, and as this thought, kept burning harder in my mind, I started searching for software tech jobs outside Africa, mostly, across Europe. So before diving into tips and processes, let's discuss and talk first, about finding a visa sponsorship. Yes, that's the first thing, finding a visa sponsorship. Not every company in Europe can provide the sponsorship, not because they can't do it, but because they are not eligible to do that. Yes, for a company, to provide the visa sponsorship, they should, first register for a license with their European government to sponsor the visa to the candidates, and each and every country in Europe has some regulations for it. So in simple words, only licensed sponsor can give the job and sponsor the visa. So all we need is to get a job in a company that provides us with a sponsorship. So now the goal is clear: finding a sponsoring company and getting a job there. This is the hardest part, of course. Once you crack this, you are in. So let's dive in on 5 tips that I followed and worked really well for me. So tip number 1, don't approach job consultancies. Approaching a job consultant is actually a waste, not because they are not good or they cheat or something. They are good people and they're very professional, but the only problem is that they don't know what jobs to apply for. Let me tell you how it works. We pay for a few services such as international resume preparing service, LinkedIn profile building service, and applying for job services, etc., etc. And the consultancies do all these things on our behalf, and they prepare the resume, they create accounts on all job portals, and they apply for the jobs on our behalf. And all these services, that's what we pay for. So the problem with them is that there's some non-tech guys sitting on your behalf and applying every heck of the job he thinks is relevant to you. You don't believe that they applied for more than 500 jobs and I only got 10 calls from what they've applied on behalf of me. Out of those 3 calls, I've got only 1 job, which I rejected. I rejected because of the package negotiation. So the bottom line is, don't go for consultancies and waste the money and the time. They make sweet juice out of you, which they drink and enjoy. So don't fall into that trap which I fell into. So tip number 2, prepare your resume and cover letter with international standards. Don't get carried away by the term international standard, saying this term. The consultant guys took money from me and gave me a horrible resume and cover letter format. I thought international standard means some standard resume format that they use, but not exactly. It is just means that the English language and the vocabulary that we mentioned in the resume are to be simple and proper, and I've made a video of how to build the resume and the cover letter for the international market, like especially in Europe. Check them out. One of the most important tip which I want to give you while preparing the resume or cover letter: do not extend your resume or your cover letter beyond 2 pages. Please. This is very important. Believe me, guys, this tip definitely help. All the tips that I am mentioning here are the things that I learned from my mistakes. So tip number 3 that I have for you: applying the jobs for sponsorship. So after the resume has been prepared, the most important thing is applying for the job. So there are 2 things to discuss here: where to apply and how to apply. So where to apply, first and foremost, is linkedin.com, and it is by far the best site that I have ever encountered for Europe and UK jobs. I have sent around 300 applications and I've got responses from around 40% of them and got offers from 3 companies. So the second is Indeed. I had also applied to Indeed, but I did not get many calls. So stick to these 2, LinkedIn and Indeed. There are other job portals which I'll mention at the video description, but I would not recommend them much. So how to apply now? So do not apply for the jobs blindly and waste your time. This is also one of the mistakes that I've done. I applied blindly for as many jobs as I want, but I have not got many replies. The reason here is all the jobs don't provide visa sponsorship. So while applying for the jobs, just check whether or not the job description they are mentioning anything about visa sponsorship. Few companies mention that they don't provide visa sponsorship, and few mention that they consider applicants from the outside of Europe with sponsorship. So some companies also mention that they bear all the relocation expenses, which is quite great. So watch the job description carefully before applying. I know this is very tedious and painstaking task to look at every job description and check whether it provides sponsorship or not. That is where I used LinkedIn job alerts. I created a LinkedIn job alert with the keyword sponsorship, visa sponsorship, blue card, etc. Is with the location to Europe. So the advantage is that you get an email whenever a job with these keywords is posted. So the tip number 4 that I have for you is dedicate at least 1 hour of morning and evening just to apply for the jobs. This is also helped me to manage my daily office work. Don't just sit in front of your laptop and apply for the jobs endlessly. After a few days, you stop applying for the jobs out of frustration. So do not put yourself in that situation. Instead, set a time in the morning and in the evening, and dedicate that time only to apply for the jobs. In between, check your emails from time to time. So just to keep an eye that if you get any updates from the recruiters. So the last tip that I have for you, and as a conclusion, this is the most important thing, guys: never ever give up. That's the last tip and the most important. When I say don't give up, I am saying both your preparation and the applying for the jobs. The application process in Europe and UK is a little bit slower. So apply as many as you can, attend many interviews as you can. Don't feel bad. So if you lose one interview, your amazing skills, are not for that company. So analyze why it was bad and rectify it in the next interview. That's all, guys. So don't forget to check out some few job portals in which I applied for the jobs in the video description. Also, don't forget to like, to subscribe, and to ring the notification bell. As always, keep on skiing in the tech world.